Hey everybody, guess what time it is? Woo! Pantry Party Show. All right, today kicks off another great week of the Pantry Party Show. Today's guest is at Frances L. Roth, RD. And I'll tell you, I have a nickname for her. It's FLR. So I can't wait to have her on the show. We're going to talk about all things smoothie. Woo-oo-oo. All right, let's kick this party off. Hey, FLR. Oh, love it. Don't you just love that little theme song? I feel like it's so upbeat and perky. So Frances Largeman Roth, her handle is at Frances L. Roth RD. And I'm going to put my phone in this tripod situation and get her in. Got to get ready with the ball. We're ready for her. Ready for her. Hey. Well, hello, FLR. What's up, girl? It's good to see you.
So good to see you.
Of course. I mean, this is a Pantry Party Show. I mean, can you have a party without a disco ball?
No, and I almost wore earrings just like that. Those are fabulous.
Well, here's the scoop. So, as I know, your handle is at Frances L. Roth RD. I know you as FLR, and the reason why I say that is Frances Largeman Roth, Dawn Jackson Blattner, we're like the three initial queens.
We are.
Yes, and the other thing we have in common is a love of color. We say to each other, every time we comment on our posts to each other, rainbow, 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 rainbow. So that's why I wore these in honor of our color.
Oh, thank you. I love it.
Well, you know, I had such a good time putting together your bio this morning. You know, very, very quick little bio that I put in the post. New York Times bestseller. Hello. Working with Today Food and Parents. And you've been a previous magazine editor at Health Magazine. And you've got a new book coming out. Is this your fourth book?
Yes. I mean, Carb Lovers had a couple of weird little spin-offs and things like that, but this is, yes. Was supposed to be in a couple of weeks. But it'll be in September instead, and that's okay. But it's not just a smoothie book, right? There are millions of smoothie books out there. What it's trying to address are specifically gut health, glowing skin, healthy heart, strong muscles, and anti-inflammation. So you need something, you go to that chapter.
Okay, so here's the thing. Who doesn't need all of that? Like those are really, I mean, they're hot buttons for a reason. They're not just trendy for trend's sake. They're trendy because everybody needs gut health. Everybody wants glowing skin. Everybody needs anti-inflammation. So I think that's really great. Is that, have you always been sort of obsessed with, what's the title exactly, actually? So I can go look it up.
Smoothies and Juices, Prevention Healing Kitchen, because in the Prevention Healing Kitchen, there will be other books in that series.
I need all of
like
that.
Sam Cassidy. You know Samantha Cassidy?
Yes.
She has one in this series, and I'm not exactly sure, you know, it's a Hearst book. So I'm not exactly sure what else they have up their sleeves in the Prevention Healing Kitchen, but, you know, it's obviously a great brand to be associated with, and I hope that their team can do an amazing job with the marketing, because it's always nice to have, you know, to have somebody else doing that stuff for you, as you know, and for you to not be the only one ringing people up and sending emails. So
it's the truth. Well, so let's go over a little bit your book profile. So Carb Lovers Diet and all the spin-offs of Carb Lovers Diet. But then come in, I refer a lot of people for Feed the Belly. That was your next one, right?
Yes. Well, actually, that was the first one. I'll show you.
Oh, that was the first one. Because a lot of people will ask me for help with like pregnancy nutrition. I'm like, no, you got to go to my girl FLR. Oh, I love that. Don't you love that cover?
Thank you for sending someone to me just last week. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so this was the first one, and then Carb Lovers, and which was fun. And you know, I probably won't have an experience like that again. You know, that was sort of right time, right place. And then Eating in Color was in 2014.
You know what? I don't want to play favorites, FLR. I don't want to play favorites. But I gotta tell you, Eating in Color like makes me cry with joy. It's like your personality, but it's also like what we always say as registered dietitians, nutritionists, right? But in a fun sort of upbeat way, like Eating in Color. I love that book.
Thank you so much. I mean, that was really the one that I kind of poured all of my heart and soul into, and has beautiful photography, and worked with Quentin Bacon on that one, who's, you know, he doesn't do like nutrition books, he does cookbooks. And so that felt really special and kind of once in a lifetime. And, you know, who knows what's happening with the whole entire world, including publishing. Yeah.
Oh gosh, you're not kidding. Well, so I know one of the things we were DMing back and forth is really talking about, even though your smoothie and juice book is not coming out until September, who cares? Can't we talk about it now?
Of course. Yes.
So, I mean,
yes, please.
Yeah, you're like, yes, please. So I know you also, I mean, in addition to being a boss babe extraordinaire, you have 3 children.
Yes, and they are locked in a room downstairs right now.
I love it. Well, so have they become crazy smoothie kids now that you have had to test all those smoothie and juice recipes?
They love it to varying degrees. My son is always the most compliant, and I think maybe that's because he has the biggest appetite of all of them. But he's always down to try a smoothie and doesn't care what color it is. You know, he's game. Whereas Willa, who's the 11-year-old one, who I wrote Eating in Color for because she was so picky, continues to be picky, but now she's a picky preteen. So, you know, she wants input, she wants buy-in, she wants to rule the show.
Well, yes, I have a niece and nephew who just turned 10, and I've been calling them tweens. And that's the tweens. I do find that to be a very interesting age. I like that. You know, adult, but not an adult at all.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, no, not at all. And with no phone yet. So thank God for no phone yet for that one.
Oh, no phone yet is good. Well, so you had all of these. Were they all tested by you? And what's the difference between a smoothie and a juice?
Well, I think that's a great question. So we do have juices in here, but they only require a blender because we didn't want people to have a juicer.
I'm giving you a disco ball for that because, I mean, here's the thing. Don't you agree that when it says juice, it should be in a blender because not everybody has a juicer.
Not everybody has a juicer. Juicers tend to be really expensive. They're also really hard to clean. And you don't get that fiber. You don't get that awesome fiber from whatever you're juicing when you use a juicer. It comes out, you have the lovely juice, but no fiber. So the juices that we have the fiber still in them. And we do have some trendy stuff. We've got celery juice. We've got some bone broth ingredients. You love it?
Oh, hey, you know what? That's kind of I like to do a mind blow every once in a while because honestly, I would not have thought in a smoothie and juice book of thinking about bone broth, but why? That makes so much sense. That's great. Yeah. That's a smart idea.
Also collagen powder. So, you know, if people want to try these things, you know, it's not a huge investment. You try it in a smoothie. Smoothies really can never go bad unless you're just throwing together a really god-awful combination, which is why it is smart to have the book. But I do feel like once you get the general sense of what goes together, then you can experiment on your own.
Well, and there are people, okay, so the difference between a smoothie and a juice, in your book, they're both coming out of a blender, but what makes one a smoothie and one a juice?
I would say a smoothie is trying to pack in a lot of things. It's trying to hit protein, it's trying to hit fiber, and then of course achieve one of these goals, the glowing skin or gut health, whereas a juice is really, I would say, much more basic, right? You're probably not going to add milk or any dairy. You're probably not going to add yogurt to a juice, right?
I love that. I think that's my definition too, is like a juice is really fruits and vegetable based, possibly water. And smoothie is more along the lines of getting close to meal-esque because it's starting to have boosts and proteins and thicker and creamier. I am a huge fan of celery juice, and I feel like it's not just a trend. When you calculate all of the electrolytes that are in a celery juice, it's like a natural sports drink. So I know dietitians who are always like, I can't believe you're so on the celery juice bandwagon. I'm like, dude, it's because it's #science. It's real.
And I think it's very refreshing. I think it tastes delicious. Yes. And, you know, in fact, if we want to look in the fridge, I have a whole bunch of celery that needs to be used.
Okay, this is very much along the lines of Pantry Party. So basically how we do this is every episode has its own like theme, right? And so it could be a specific meal, whatever. And usually it's based on inspiration that the guest, aka Frances Largenroth, either makes all the time, or wants to try that's something new, or that she has to make because something is in her fridge about to go bad. And if you're not kidding that you have celery, I would love to talk celery because this one has a whole thing of celery, a whole stalk of celery. Wait, what is that? It's not a stalk of celery. It's a...
Well, each individual one is a stalk, but you would buy it as a, what do they call that?
Is that called a bunch of celery?
A bunch? A bunch?
Yeah, a bunch. So I have a cleaned bunch of celery in my fridge right now, and I'm not pushing you. I'm not pushing you toward this topic. But if this could be our jumping off point, I would love to see fridge, pantry, freezer, whatever you want to show us of how we could use celery in one of your glorious juices or smoothies. Okay.
Let's take a look in the fridge.
Okay.
And I'm gonna
you don't have to twist my arm.
I'm going to be completely honest. This is the fridge of our Airbnb, which is currently only in use for us, right? Oh, okay. So this is why it's going to be not the full peak. You know what I'm saying? Because it would have a lot more Tupperware containers if it was our real fridge.
So Airbnb, like you have a section of your house or a side house that is Airbnb.
Yes, we're in a row house in Brooklyn, and so we used to rent the top, and can't do that right now. So
here's a quick. Would you like a quick creepy question? Maybe when the quarantine is lifted, I'm gonna look that Airbnb up and come stay with you.
I would love that. I would love that.
Wouldn't that be fun? Oh my gosh. All right, show us in.
Yeah.
Hey Gina, hey Balance Babe. I see a Happy Energy Nutritionist joining. A lot of people coming in. Give us a wave, give us a hi. Ooh, okay, so we're going in. Frances Largenroth's
leftover booze. Wait, what can you see here? We've got swinging of the phone. What can you see, Dawn?
You know what? I do need an anti-nausea.
Sorry. Okay. So little leftover booze, some eggs, a bunch of yogurt, and then these. Do you see these mushrooms?
No.
Okay, let me get these back in focus. Mushrooms. These look like these could be used up very, very soon, or should be used up very soon. And I have these power grains, which have a few more days on them. But that could be a good combination with eggs, right? Eggs are the binder for everything in life.
Oh, so I'm thinking, okay, just so you're clear, I started freaking out and I was thinking that we were putting this all in a juice. I was like,
no.
Wait, but I mean, do you have any recipes with mushrooms in a juice? That seems weird.
I think that's a tough one. I think that gets really earthy and real earthy, real fast. I do love mushrooms, but I think that they are probably even harder than beets, like because beets provide a lot of that earthiness, but they also have a little bit of sweetness.
True.
Yeah. So, although you could try a button, just like a white button mushroom in a smoothie, I suppose it would give it some body.
Well, here's little Miss DJB judgy judge. I used to think this was a while ago, so no error in my way, but I used to think, who would put cauliflower in a smoothie? It seems like that would be gross. I did it one time just to test out the situation, and it is a dream. It is a dream.
Yeah, and once you freeze something, right, it gives it a totally different texture. Did you do frozen cauliflower?
I did frozen. I did frozen cauliflower in, it was like a cauliflower strawberry shake I made. And I couldn't believe how good the frozen cauliflower was in it. But yeah, good point is that it was less, you know, granular because it was from the frozen section.
Yeah, less grainy. Yeah.
Okay,
so
fine.
Go ahead.
Oh, so I was going to say, so now this is shocker because I think you're going to make me do something that is a smoothie, but you're thinking something in your house, like you're talking celery, mushrooms, eggs, power grains, you've got all of this stuff. So what are you thinking about doing with all of that?
I am thinking, because I do not have any quiche shells, usually I keep quiche shells in the freezer. I don't have that, and I don't really want to make a quiche shell today.
Preach,
but
girl,
I'm thinking the mini frittatas, right? Mini frittatas in the muffin pan.
I like that. I like that you called them mini frittatas because here's the truth of the matter is I will look at things when they call it egg tin muffins or whatever, egg muffins or in a tin. I'm like, well, I don't know. You call something a frittata, to me, now this seems high scale, high end, that I'm not just eating some child's food out of a cupcake tin. So I like to call it mini frittata.
Yeah, and I think there is some psychology to that too. Like if there's something that you normally have that's usually sweet, sometimes when it's a savory thing, it doesn't sound as good, right?
Okay, well, here's what I will give you as an example to that. It turned out to be amazing, but I made my grandma meatloaf cupcakes with the icing as being mashed potatoes.
Oh. And did she love them?
She loved them. I love them. They were an effort of love. I mean, it took a little bit long to like deal with the mashed potatoes, but like meatloaf cupcakes with mashed potato topping, it was a mind crazy for the mind, okay? A mind F, if you will. But they were so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that takes some love. You obviously love your grandma.
Yes, well, absolutely. And so here's what I want to know from you. So would you cook, because when I make those mini frittatas, I cook all the vegetables first. Is that how you do it too?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't cook the power grains. I would just keep those as is. But I would do, if I have time, I saute an onion and maybe a clove of garlic too. And then if it was going to be an asparagus mini frittata, I would saute the asparagus just to let it not completely, not as long as I would normally cook it, but just to get it a little bit cooked, like halfway cooked. Because then you're going to bake it, right, for 20 minutes. So definitely
what is that? Like 350? Is it like, how many eggs? So do you do 12 eggs for 12 muffins? Is that how you do it?
I do 10, but I also add milk. I also add a cup of milk, which, you know, you wouldn't have to do, or it could be almond milk or oat milk as long as you keep it unsweetened. But I do a cup of milk and then salt, pepper, sometimes paprika. Paprika.
That's also, let's do a disco ball for paprika. Yes.
And then cheese. And then I grate cheese. So whatever cheese I have on hand, which often is manchego because I love it so much.
Wait, girl, wait a second. This is another mind blow. Here's the deal, is I go to the store, I buy feta, Parmesan, usually like some sort of Mexican blend type of thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes blue cheese if I'm making like a dip or something. I do not remember manchego, but that is like a Spanish cheese of goddesses. That is the best cheese. Why do I forget about that cheese? Oh, because I think you have to go to the cheese counter to get it. Do you?
Well, I order my groceries. I'm not going to the grocery, Dawn.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't with 3 children and bringing home any. You got
Well, and especially now, it's like, you know, it's a danger zone.
It is, yes.
Major danger zone. But even in normal times, I don't go to the grocery store that much. So
It's
I
genius.
order.
It's genius.
Yeah.
It's a shortcut that I think has actually, for me and for a lot of people who've started and never ordered groceries before, you see that that's probably going to be a trend that sticks around because it is such a time saver, and you end up with not a lot of random stuff because you had to type in a plan as opposed to just wandering the store putting stuff in your cart that doesn't go together and gets wasted.
It's much less distracting, right? Because you go into a store, you have to go by the bakery aisle and you have to go by all the specialty aisles, and you end up spending a lot more. So I'm all about the online shopping. I don't think I'll ever stop using it. But anyway, it would be in the specialty cheese section of a regular grocery store.
Yeah. So I like that. That's a good reminder of Manchego. And Manchego is sort of along the harder side, like a Parmesan, right?
It is, although it depends on how long it's aged. So if it's aged for more than 3 months, it does get harder like a Parmesan. But if it's only a 3-month age, it's actually a little on the softer side, but you can still grate it. It's hard enough to grate. So,
okay, well, I love this. So 10 eggs, a cup of whatever your favorite milk is, a little salt, pepper, maybe paprika, and that Liz Weiss gave you a smiley for that, and a little bit of shredded cheese. And what is a little bit of shredded cheese? Like a half a cup of some sort of cheese? You could do a half.
You could do a half. I do a whole cup.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, if we're going to get FLR permission to do a whole cup, I'm going in.
Yes, ma'am.
Brazilians saying, so great to see you both, smart women, and Liz Weiss giving us heart eyes. So I like that base. And then you put in either the fresh power greens, half-cooked mushrooms and onions, anything. And really, what's your rule of thumb for how much vegetable do you really think you could put in there before they start getting wet and soggy?
I think you can put in definitely a cup and a half, then it gets to be a stretch. But the more cooked down it is, the better.
Yeah, so maybe that's right. So maybe it's like max without a watery mess is like 1.5 to maybe 2 cups. You put it in there, it goes in there. Do you put anything on top of it, or then in a 350 oven for 20 minutes?
375 for 20 minutes.
Okay.
And they're great. And then you can keep them for 3 to 4 days in the fridge. You can even freeze them for up to 3 months. And I think it's such a great breakfast, snack, lunch, you know, you name it, especially during these times when honestly, I'm so over food prep.
I know, I do hear you. Do you ever freeze these babies or not?
You can. You would want to put it in a zip top bag and get all the air out, and then you could freeze them for 3 months.
Okay, fine. I like this idea because you know what? It leans into the whatever goes situation, because not everybody's going to have power greens and mushrooms and onions in their fridge like you do, but it is possible that people have eggs and milk and then a bunch of random vegetables in their freezer or fridge or whatever. So you just make sure that you're heating those frozen vegetables up before you put them in. I like that rule of like 1 to 2 cups of vegetables in there. I like the cup of cheese. I feel very good about that. Nothing on top, 375, 20 minutes.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. And
I love that.
You know what? You could even use the celery up in that too. You would just want to saute it. You know, dice it, saute it with the onion, and throw that in there.
That's surprising because I was thinking that I was going to say, okay, that's good. We got a frittata episode, but now let's get back to the celery and how you were going to make it a juice or a smoothie. But you're thinking you would put that in even in your frittatas.
Sure, I could use it 2 ways.
I love
Use it up 2 ways.
Okay, fine. Do you want to, and this would be a bonus. This would be a bonus because your episode is going to be the Anything Goes Frittata episode. But would you like to give us a bonus of one of your ways that you would use that celery in a smoothie or a juice to sort of celebrate your upcoming book in September?
Yes, ma'am. I would make this.
Look at that.
Look how pretty that is.
That's
so this
gorgeous.
is celery juice, but it also has, so it has 5 stalks of celery,
Okay.
1 Granny Smith apple,
Ooh.
half of an English cucumber, and 3/4 cups of coconut water chilled.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And would that make one smoothie, or is that 2?
One juice.
One juice. Oh, yeah, juice.
5 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, listen to this, because if I am drinking that, I would be hard pressed to eat 5 stalks of celery, a half of a cucumber, and a whole apple right in one sitting. I would be hard pressed to do it. I could do it, but I would be hard pressed. And I don't know. But if you put that in a juice like that and blend it with the naturally sweet coconut water like that, I would love that. That would be easy for me to drink/eat. I love that.
Thanks, Dawn. Thanks, DJB. And it's 4 grams of fiber.
Oh, you know, you won me over. You had me at a half a cucumber, but now you won me over with the 4 grams of fiber. Do you have a like an Amazon store or someplace that is recommended what types of blenders you like?
Oh, you know what? That's so much about budget, I feel. But there are really there are two types, right? There's the big countertop one, and I happen to have a Vitamix, and I feel like it's super sturdy. Yes, you pay a lot of money, but they're kind of indestructible.
Yes.
Or the kind that is like the personal blender that has the thing that you can take and go. And so if you're really going to get into smoothies, I think both are good to have. And if you're definitely one of those people who, like when we're all back to normal, one of those people who takes a smoothie with them on the way to work, then probably one of those personal blenders is the way to go, like the Bullet, you know, and the various other iterations.
Yep. You know what? I abuse my personal blenders. I like it because we live in a condo that is not massive storage everywhere. So I like to hide my little personal blender in the drawer that's right, easy to grab. So I've been doing personal blender, but I think I put way too much stress on that baby because I've blown out. I'm on my, if I'm not exaggerating, I'm on my 3rd. I'm either on my 3rd or my 4th.
What are you putting in there?
Well, I'm doing everything. Like, so I'll make like pancake batters in there. We'll do muffin batters in there. I'll do, make my like oat flours in there. I do like mega juices, like probably too many juices in a row, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I overfill it with frozen stuff and it's churning, and then it starts smoking. So I do feel like those personal blenders are fabulous. And I just need to take a little more caution in how I overstuff it.
Yeah, right. And, you know, one thing that we do talk about also in the book is how to, if you're using a personal one, how to set it up the night before, put all your ingredients inside, put that in the refrigerator, and then when you're half asleep the next morning and you want to go get your workout on, pop it out, blend it, go, and you're done.
Oh my gosh, that's a mind blow. All right, fine. Can I ask you one more thing while we're on this thing? And I hate to keep putting you on the spot, but you're such a crazy, avid, fabulous runner, exerciser. I always see pictures of you. Your Instagram is awesome, of like inspiring running things.
Thank you.
Do you have a smoothie or a juice that is either in or not in that book that you love before or after runs? Like, is there anything that is like a true, like, Frances Largeman Roth go-to pre or post run?
Yes, and in fact, I'm going to post it later today as a little preview. And
really? Okay.
Yes.
Susie Lee is saying hello. We've got a bunch. The Rock Girl is on. You got lots of hellos right now.
Hello. Okay, of course, now am I going to be able to find this one? It has coffee in it. And so if I've gone super early like I did today, I don't really get to drink my coffee beforehand. Maybe a few sips. Use that coffee or that cold brew afterwards to make this smoothie. And I'm going to find it.
You got a lot of hearts. You say the word coffee anywhere, anytime, people give you hearts, I believe. Oh, what is that called?
This is a smoothie bowl. This is the Energy Duo Smoothie Bowl. And it's delicious. And this has You actually can make, with your leftover coffee, you can make coffee ice cubes, and that goes into this smoothie. Also unsweetened almond milk, unsweetened cocoa powder, protein powder, whatever you have, whatever you like on hand, vanilla extract, and a banana. And then you top it with cacao nibs, hazelnuts, coconut, and more banana. So awesome for runners because it has so much potassium. And I would have this afterwards. It'd be too much to have it before. I'm very basic before, like give me a banana, give me a bowl of oatmeal. But after a long run, this is amazing.
Hey, do you always eat before you run, or sometimes is it so early that you don't feel like eating, or you really do need to eat before you run?
Usually something, even if I'm not hungry, usually like half a banana or maybe half of an energy bar. But I feel like I always have this fear, and I think actually a lot of dietitians have this, the fear of getting hungry and being out there and bonking and then being like, I'm such an idiot because I don't even follow my own advice, right? So having something, and also of course making sure you're hydrated, especially now with the masks, right?
Oh,
I'm running with a mask, so you can't drink that much while you run. So you have to go into it a little bit more hydrated than normal.
I like that. Hey, what do you think about this? I do this myself, and I do it with a lot of clients, is I say meal splitting. I say make a breakfast, have a little bit of it before you go, and then finish it when you get back. Have you ever done that, or is it just too early and that would be too much drama for you?
No, I think that's great. And obviously certain things work better than others. You know, I think that totally works with a bowl of oatmeal or overnight oats. Overnight oats are great because you can always put them back into the fridge, right?
Yeah, that is a good point. I love that. And did you say that you're going to be posting this recipe soon for your smoothie bowl?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well then fine. This is it. You've experienced and been a fabulous participant in the Pantry Party Show. You've given us our theme of the day is the anything goes frittata. I will post the actual ingredients and everything, but so easy. I love that idea because you can use any vegetables you have around, even that little bit of celery, right?
Totally.
You gave us a fantastic idea for 5 stalks of celery, a half a cucumber, a whole apple, and 3/4 of a cup of coconut water to make the most refreshing juice out of your new book.
Your memory is amazing, Dawn. What are you taking for your memory?
Oh, please. Well, here's what I'm doing is I'm totally logging this in, because especially the cucumber, or especially the celery one, because I have the cucumber, I have the apple, I have all the ingredients to make it. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to make that. And then I feel like this is the dangling carrot of all. You have to go to @FrancisLRothRD to get this recipe that you're going to be posting for your own fabulous post-workout smoothie bowl with coffee in it. I love it. Girl, if we want more Frances Largeman Roth, where should we go? What should we do?
Well, you should follow me on Instagram @FrancisLRothRD, or go to my website, franceslargemanroth.com. Dawn, I love you. Thank you so much for having me on. This was the most fun.
One more time. Can we see the cover of your new book coming out one more time? And
of course,
the other thing, oh, look at that gorgeous shot. That's beautiful. And the other thing that I will also throw in is that you do a fabulous newsletter, like an e-blast or whatever you want to call it. I love it, and I feel like you put a lot of love into your email. So logging into your website and joining your email list, I think, is a smart idea.
Definitely smart.
Love you, girl. I'm going to be on your Instagram account later for that smoothie bowl recipe.
Love you too, Dawn. Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Bye. Thank you. That was another awesome episode of the Pantry Party Show. The theme today was the Anything Goes Frittata. We got a great celery juice recipe right out of @FrancisLRothRD's newest book that's coming out in September. You've got to check out her Instagram page, especially because she just teased us with the most amazing coffee smoothie bowl that she herself loves after a run. So what do we have coming up this rest of this week? We have more fabulous dietitians. We have a love and relationship coach coming. And I've got a crazy, crazy, crazy surprise coming on Friday. So this is going to be a fabulous week. Set your alarms every day this week for 12 Central Time, because the Pantry Party Show is getting better by the day. So until tomorrow, I'm sending you high immunity vibes. Oh, and thanks for the earring love. Yep. Sending you high immunity vibes, big love, and lots of kisses.